Okay, let us continue our gewaldige quest of learning about the Heilige Zemiros that we sing every single week. So last time we discussed the makor, the source for Zemiros. Where does it come from? The godless of singing Zemiros, the importance of singing Zemiros. I'd like to, Be'ez Hashem, B'siyat L'Shmaya today, go into our first Zemiros. But before we do that, just one short, small Hagdama to add to last time's previous Hagdama, just to understand very slightly, like how did it evolve that the Zemiros that we sing or have in our Zemiros booklets came to be? Like who made it up? Where did it come from? So you should know it never really happened at one time specifically. It happened in different communities and eventually it was all put together over there. But you have to realize for hundreds of years, even at the time of the Rishonim, there was already pure rayas, and I think we gave some of them last time, for Klal Yisrael singing Zemiros. And many of the piyutim were made by some of the gedolim that were the time of the Rishonim that were printed in Machzorim and Sidurim, Ksav Yad and everything else, until eventually they sort of put it together into what we call the Zemiros. Okay? In Shin Nun Vov, actually in Venezia, which is in Venice, there's a Sefer Tikunei Shabbos, where it brings all sorts of things al pi Kabbalah to sing on Shabbos, and most of it comes from the Talmidim of the Arizal that were quoting their Rebbe, the Arizal. Okay, this Sefer Tikunei Shabbos includes Sudas Halayla. It talks about the Zoya, it talks about Sholom Aleichem, Rebbein Kodolom, Mesha Schai, Laskini Sudusa, and others as well. And then it developed into a lot more. And throughout the generations, many of the Zemiros that we sing have become accepted in our Zemiros. Other ones have been added in that case as well. And again, each one, according to their own minig, does sing what they sing. What we're going to do is we're going to go through every Zemiros that's printed in the Zemiros book, but we're going to go through, I think, the main ones that most people in most communities, in most places in the world do sing. And we're going to start with something universally sung, which is, of course, Sholom Aleichem. Sholom Aleichem is a gewaldige Zemiros. Let's understand, before we understand the words, where it came from, which I think is a very crucial part over here. So this piyut, Sholom Aleichem, comes again from the Tikunei Shabbos, from the Talmidei Arizal. It's basically of recent origin, composed apparently by the Kabbalists of the 17th century. Now the makor for Sholom Aleichem, and we'll see when we get to the words why this is so, the makor really comes from a Gemara in Shabbos Daf Kuf Yud Testament base, where the Gemara in Shabbos tells us a famous yesod which we'll mention a few times. The Gemara says that when a person leaves the shul, he's accompanied by two malachim. And those malachim are accompanying him into his home, and they see the table set, the bed is made, the candles are lit and everything else, and they give you a bracha in that case. Now you should know that the singing of Sholom Aleichem is now a very widely accepted Zemer. It's a very widely accepted and known practice symbol of Shabbos, of the beauty of Shabbos, of the simcha of Shabbos, but you should know it wasn't always the case. In fact, there was a tremendous amount of controversy that was surrounding singing Sholom Aleichem. Ad Kedei Kach, there were many generations and authorities that objected to either part or all of Sholom Aleichem. So, for example, the Vilna Gaon, the Mariach, Rabbi Yaakov Emden, objected to much of or all of Sholom Aleichem. However, Lemaisa, most of the Gedolim and authorities did endorse the minig of singing Sholom Aleichem, of coming home on Shul on Shabbos Kodesh, and it's pretty much become a universal way of accepting our Shabbos and starting off our Suda. So now let's try to begin. I'm going to give you a little bit of a peirush of Sholom Aleichem, and then we'll end with a couple of inyonim that some of the tzaddikim said. So of course there are four specific parts to Sholom Aleichem, right? As we know, there are four specific parts. We've got Sholom Aleichem, Barucham L'Sholem, Baruchuni L'Sholem, and Seischem L'Sholem. Let's go through each one. We've got number one, Sholom Aleichem, which of course means peace to you, right? Now, there's a tremendous quality of Sholom. There's a tremendous quality of peace, right? And it also is related to Shlema. Shlemus means wholesomeness, a harmony, right? Because the Malachim, which are accompanying us, as we mentioned from the Gemara, generally are creatures of Hashem who exist and carry out Hashem's will with no considerations of their own. They are known as Malachei HaSholem, the angels of peace. The only thing that can alter this ideal condition is man. Because by definition we can sin and create destructive malachim. And therefore, at this moment when we have just come home from shul, and we've got those accompanying malachim with us, we are now ready to greet those accompanying malachim with brachas of peace, meaning we hope very much that no misdeed on our behalf, which is the only thing that can make destructive angels, will disrupt the sholom, the harmony that they bring into our home. The next part is Bayacham L'Sholom, which of course is, may your coming be for peace. Again, you're coming into my home. I would like it to be a peaceful situation. And we also, maybe we'll just go back a moment. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Elyon, the angels of the exalted one, of course, referring to Hashem. Mimelech Malchei Amlachim, from the King of Kings, who reigns over the kings. The angel will come from the Rabbeinu Shalom. And then we move on to Ba'acham L'Sholom, which is, of course, your coming should be for peace, which is also important, by the way, because in the Shulchan HaTorah from the Kamarna, he explains that each paragraph of Shalom Aleichem is addressing a different set of malachim. The first stanza is a song relating and referring to all of the malachim, right, who stand, to do the avodas Hashem. The second paragraph and all the ones afterwards is specifically directed to the malachim that are accompanying a yid when he comes home from shul, which is only then when we welcome Bayachem, you're coming. Which is why, by the way, interesting minig, the Chassam Sofer, some people say, did not sing Shalom Aleichem. He didn't sing Shalom Aleichem Friday night. Why did he not sing Shalom Aleichem? Because he said, you think I'm such a high level that the Malachim are accompanying him from shul? So he didn't sing it. According to many versions, the Chassam Sofer did not sing Shalom Aleichem. However, the Maram Shik, that was one of the Chassam Sofer's big Iker Talmidim, he gave edus that the Heilige Rebbe, the Chassam Sofer, did say Shalom Aleichem, but he said it quietly, because he didn't want to show he was a Baal Gaiva and, giving the impression that he was worthy himself of having these malachim accompany him. Moving on to Baruchuni L'Sholom, bless me for peace, which is a tefillah that we are asking the malachim to give us that bracha for peace. Tzeischem L'Sholom, which we'll talk about, means may your departure be for peace. Now, it's a very difficult thing. We've just had the malachim accompany us. They're in our homes now, and we're saying, bye guys, Tzeischem L'Sholom. Where are you sending them to? They've just arrived in that case, which, by the way, is why Rabbi Yaakov Emden and others, Lekutim Arich as well, actually deleted the last paragraph of Shalom Aleichem, because why are you sending them away, right? So there are many that defended the reading of it, and they said that the malachim are not really actually being asked to leave. What they're just saying is whenever they leave, they should leave in peace. Okay? There's a Merdikus Vasemes that explains this idea of Tzeischem L'Sholom is because we've got the malachim that were here during the week, we're asking them to go and leave us with the malachim of Shabbos Kodesh. Now there's a Merdikus Kasha. If you ever noticed, Shalom Aleichem, the first paragraph is Malachei HaShares. The second paragraph is Malachei HaShalom. What's the reason of the change? Why do we change from Malachei HaShares to Malachei HaShalom? So the Sar Sholom of Bells explain like this, and we'll say a very similar idea in a moment also from the Sar Sholom of Bells, that when they first come into the house, basically they can see the Maila of Klal Yisrael, of a Ben Adam, and therefore they're like Malachei HaShares. But after they've walked into the home and they see that candle being lit, they see the challah on the table is set, everything is so beautiful. So now at the end of the day, they have a different musig in this case, and now they want to actually go together with Klal Yisrael. Now we call them Malachei HaShalom. In fact, the Shemi Shmuel brings a beautiful idea. He brings the reason why we sing Shalom Aleichem is because every single Shabbos, the Gemara in Beitzah Daf Tez Zayin Amud Aleph tells us that it's zocher to an extra neshama, a neshama yesera, and therefore, since at the end of the day, a Yid is not on the Madrega to accept this very, very holy neshama, therefore we need a bit of help. Says the Shem Shmuel, we're accompanied by the Malachim specifically to accompany us on Leil Shabbos Kodesh that help us receive the neshama Yesera, and to these Malachim we are saying Shalom Aleichem. Now, going back to the question that we said, why are we saying Tzeischem L'Sholom and goodbye? What's the purpose of that? So again, our Peter Sar Sholom of Bells, a similar interpretation of what we said before, is based on the Gemara in Shabbos Kuf Yates, that two Malachim accompany us from shul to our homes. So when they first come in, they have to understand that at the end of the day, a malach is on a way higher level than a human being. There's no question whatsoever, which is why we call them malachei ashores. But once, as we said, they see everything prepared for Shabbos, then they're maskim that they are malachei ashores, right? Because hachona l'Shabbos, preparing for Shabbos, allows a person to the madrega, to get to the madrega even of malachim. In that case, if that's the case, we no longer have to say malachei ashores. And now we understand why Tzeiskam Sholom also goes away, because now that we've become on such a high level by doing this gewaldige mitzvah that we're even higher than malachim, so we don't want the malachim to see that we're doing mitzvahs and they're going to get jealous from us. And therefore that's why we're saying Tzeiskam Sholom, to ask them to leave. One last idea, by the way, a gewaldige Zah brought down the Yeshuas Yisrael. The Yeshuas Yisrael tells us, by the way, if a person has a fight in his home, if there's an argument going on, if there's bickering going on, if things are not peaceful and happy, you shouldn't actually say Tzeiskam Sholom. Skip the last paragraph. It's a skula for peace to happen in his home if he's going through something. So it's a gewaldige zemer. Mitzvah Hashem, Be'ezra Hashem, not next week, but in Mitzvah Hashem the week after B'siyata D'Shmaya, we'll go through the next one, B'siyata D'Shmaya. Join us over there. Thank you for listening.